Hello and welcome to this new episode of my perfect film collection. Today I'm going to talk to you about the original Hellboy, the one directed by Guillermo del Toro in 2004. Let's do this. In 1944, soldiers led by a young scientist stopped Grigory Rasputin, not the Rasputin, but another one just as mean, from opening a portal that will let a giant space squid enter our dimension and supposedly help Hitler win the war. It's easy to see how this plan is flawed from the get-go. Nevertheless, a bad brings a good, because this is how baby Hellboy enters our world instead of Squidzilla and is adopted by the young Professor Broom. Jump forward 60 years and the now grown-up Hellboy is the coolest, reddest, horniest, not the way you think though still kinda, most reluctant G-man with an attitude, working for the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense, the BPRD. His partner is a psychic fishman, Abe Sapien, who's very good at reading books, though a bit slowly, and touching doors, though not opening them. The team is completed by Liz Sherman, who has the power to control fire, except she doesn't quite control her power. Our three unlikely heroes, led by the now aging Professor Broom, will buck heads with Rasputin and his cronies, who still haven't given up on their interdimensional giant squid scheme. Ron Perlman has over 100 credits in movies and another 100 on TV, where he did a lot of voice work. My first memory of Ron Perlman is him playing the lion man Vincent opposite Linda Hamilton in the ultra-romantic TV series fantasy Beauty and the Beast. I also remember seeing him early in his career in two films by French director Jean-Jacques Hano, Quest for Fire and The Name of the Rose. Because of his physicality and his unique looks, Ron Perlman was really born to be Hellboy on screen. As a result, the actor had visibly a lot of fun playing the character, and that is probably one of the main reasons why the film works so well, despite its flaws. But I'll expand on that later. John Hurt has had an acting career spanning over 6 decades. I think I first saw him in Michael Radford's 1984. Before that, he starred in 2 timeless classics, Alien by Ridley Scott and The Elephant Man by David Lynch. In Hellboy, he really brings all his experience to the part of Professor Broom, and that also contributes to make the film special. Selma Blair, I mostly remember for playing the very innocent Cecile Caldwell in Cruel Intentions, the modern-day teen movie adaptations of Dangerous Liaison directed by Roger Campbell. She's believable enough as Liz Sherman, though it's kind of a pity the character isn't much more than a love interest and an object of rivalry between the two main male characters. She does have a moment or two in the film, but the impression of a missed opportunity prevails, especially because Selma Blair does have the talent to be more than just pretty in blue. Doug Jones usually plays monsters and creatures covered with makeup and latex. He's been in a bunch of other Guillermo del Toro's films, Mimic, Hellboy 1 and 2, Pan's Labyrinth, Crimson Peak and The Shape of Water. He also played the Silver Surfer in the second Tim Story-directed Fantastic Four movie. Being such a physical actor and so gifted with expressing feelings with mime-like movements, Doug Jones is the perfect Abe Sapien. But here again, the feeling is that he could and should have done more, instead of just spending the second half of the film on the bench. Guillermo del Toro is what you might call a fan favorite kind of director, though as everyone knows, fanboys are not a box office driving force, and as a result, most of his films have flopped to some extent on the North American market, only to be saved by their worldwide box office. My personal love story with Guillermo del Toro started with his very first feature, Kronos, already with Ron Perlman in a supporting role. My favorite film of his is Pan's Labyrinth, with Blade 2 in the second spot. So why talk to you about Hellboy instead of the other two? Well, because I'm a fanboy, and I believe he's a fanboy too, and Hellboy is the ultimate fanboy film. Hellboy owes a lot to the director of photography Guillermo Navarro. He's really the one who, with its stark contrast and saturated colors, made the film look so much like a Mike Mignola comic book. He may not be the most famous cinematographer out there, but he did contribute to some important films. He's made 6 with Guillermo del Toro, 3 with Robert Rodriguez, but my favorite work of his is The Long Kiss Goodnight by Rennie Harlin and Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown. As As mentioned before, Hellboy has issues. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the film, but loving something doesn't mean one can't see its flaws. But let me start first with what I think is great about Hellboy. Hellboy. I mean the character as portrayed by Ron Perlman. He's charismatic, he's witty, and most of all, he's absolutely badass. To the point where it feels so natural, you might expect Ron Perlman to be exactly like that in real life, except maybe not so red. The rest of the main cast and characters may not be as exciting, but only because Hellboy casts a pretty long shadow, though Abe Sapien, Liz Sherman, and Professor Broom all contribute to transport the audience into the world of the BPRD. Strangely though, it's the one character that was created to accompany the audience into that world, namely Agent Myers, who ends up being the one that takes us out. Let it be said that I don't really put the blame on Rupert Evans, who plays the part though, but every scene he's involved in is painful to watch just because the character is so useless. I guess it's the very idea that the heroes in the film need babysitters that doesn't work. And in the end, all the government agents in the film are nothing more than cannon fodder. On the baddest side, there's some good and some bad as well. The human ones are mean, colorful and deadly. Mostly the Nazi cyborg ninja Cronen, therefore highly enjoyable. Whereas on the monster side, the Rasta lobster Samael struggles to make the audience forget that he's most of the time a guy in a not so convincing latex suit. And the cosmic squid, the Auju Jahad, doesn't offer any real threat and seems to only be there to provide a silly CGI porn fest in the form of the film climax. So might you say, with a flawed script and weak monsters, what's to love about Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy? Well, absolutely everything. The film's flaws don't take anything away from it, they just add flavors. It's sometimes sweet, sometimes bitter, sometimes annoying, and sometimes an absolute fanboy's wet dream. But in the end, it's always generous, funny, enjoyable, filled with love and craftsmanship. Hellboy is to cinema what Don Quixote is to chivalry. It's a B-movie that dreamed it could be a blockbuster, and totally owns its failure to be so. That's it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, do click the like button. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click on the little bell so you can get notifications when new videos come up. In the description below, I will put links to this and other films related to the review you just saw, and I would like you to use the comment section to give your opinion about the film, about this video, and also give me some other ideas of films that you would like to see being reviewed. That's about it for today. I thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.